Hey everyone, Cole here with Team Marketing. I'm going to make a quick video showing you how to review ad performance in Google Ads. So when you launch an ad group, you always want to launch with 3 ads with slightly different copy. This is what they call variations of the ad. The reason you want to launch with different ads is you want to test the performance of different copy elements so you can see what resonates more with your target audience. However, in order for these tests to have an impact on your campaigns, you have to later analyze the performance of each ad in the A/B test, as they call it, and pause down the underperforming variants. So what I'm going to show you today is how to analyze that data, what sort of KPIs you want to prioritize when you're analyzing that data, and how to make decisions about which ads to list down. So first things first, you want to go into a campaign. I've selected one of our campaigns. We've got data from our all-time performance data, and I have created a view that includes the cost, impressions, the percentage that the ad will display at the top of the page, the percentage that the ad will display at the absolute top of the page, clicks, average CPC, aka cost per click, and CTR. So these are the, I would say, first layer of ad metrics that you can use. You want to look at these metrics primarily when you do not have conversions. So the way I think about this is first I look at impression and top impression percentage before I get clicks. This usually tells me which ads Google is prioritizing in the rankings. So in this case, I know it's only 4 impressions. Many people would shake their heads at making a decision based on that. But I can tell that Google's showing one of these 3 ads for this ad group more often than the other 2. In fact, one is only being shown at the top of the page 33% of the time, and another is being shown 50% of the time, but never at the absolute top. I just know from experience that these 2 ads are never going to get the sort of click-through rate that the middle ad is going to get, because they're not going to be displayed as high up the page as often as the middle ad. And the absolute top of page has a 2x or sometimes even 3x higher click-through rate if you look at aggregated data, which I have seen. So that's how you make decisions if you don't have clicks. Now, if you have clicks, then you can use cost per click and click-through rate to make decisions. And if you have conversions, which is the next set of columns that we'll talk about, you'll want to use conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate, and then also specific types of conversions to analyze performance data. So you can see here I've got the columns I mentioned: conversion, cost per conversion. I usually put conversion rate before custom conversions, but for whatever reason didn't here. And then I've got all conversions as well, which is a KPI that includes view-through conversions and conversions that are not set as your primary goal in campaign, whereas the regular conversion column would include only click-through conversions set to primary in your campaign objectives. So those are the general conversion metrics. And then I've got one for tofu MQLs. So that is a specific conversion type that we've set up in Google Ads that happens to be the primary objective in this campaign. We set these up using, and if you go into columns and customize the column view, I'll show you this quickly. I'm not going to get too deep on this because we have another video about setting up custom columns in Google Ads. I will put a link to that in the video description. But yeah, for the purposes of this video, I just wanted to show you where you can go to find the custom columns. So they can be found here. And if you want to select them, you can just select them here. And I recommend putting them in sequential order of importance. So Tofu MQL would be a slightly less qualified lead. So we'll put that before with cost per Tofu MQL, and then Tofu MQL cost per Tofu and MQL. So then once you've selected your columns, you come back to the overview to see the ad data. We've looked at an ad with no clicks. Now we'll start going through some of these ads that do have click and conversion data. And one more important thing to note, I like to sort these reports by ad group so you can see all of the different ads within the same ad group. Now, that being said, let's start reviewing some of these ads. So first things first, this ad group, we will pause down the first ad because it's got slightly higher CPC and lower CTR. Not to mention the other ad in the ad group, while the cost per conversion is a little bit higher, it's got a conversion. So probably pause down the first one and allocate more spend to the second ad in the ad group. Keep going down. In this ad group, we'll go ahead and pause this ad because it's got a really low top impression share and absolute top impression share rate compared to the other ads. It's only being shown at the top of page 43% of the time versus around 90% for the other two ads. We will also pause down this third ad because it's got a slightly higher CPC and a significantly lower CTR. Then we get to this next ad group. Here, the first ad simply hasn't been shown enough for us to make a decision here. We'll leave that alone, but we will want to monitor this top impression percentage. It is a little bit lower in a small sample size. This other active ad is a very high performing ad, so we'll want to keep that in mind. Maybe even duplicated and added to the other campaigns for A/B testing. And then finally, in this last ad group, we will pause down this third ad because it's got a significantly higher average CPC than the second one. And the CTR, while it's still low, only 13 impressions, isn't very strong. And finally, once you have all of the ads that you want to pause selected, you'll go up to the top of the screen, click Edit, Pause, to pause down the underperformers. And that is how you review ads in Google Ads. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if you found this video valuable, please don't forget to like and subscribe.